Hello and welcome back to the Lincoln Loco 2. Today we have got two league games for you, Coventry and Oxford United coming up. And since you were last here, the league fixtures we've played, it's been pretty phenomenal. Before we get into that though, first of all, we're here on the 27th of January, so right at the end of a transfer window. And we sort of said there might be a bit of movement going on this January, and there's been nothing at all. No movement whatsoever. I was only ever going to buy players if we sold players because I want to save our money for summer and things like that. And we've played very well over January, so I don't think we need to sign any players at the moment either. But really, no bids have come in for any players in particular. I'm not sure if they're even there at all. The bids aren't even there still. I think it's only Turiak that had the offer come in. We had those bids last episode for Turiak. They came in, we rejected them. And then in January, another Romanian club came in and offered him a contract straight away, which threw me off a little bit. I didn't realise the Romanian clubs could just offer him a contract like that. So he was pondering a contract from a Romanian club. We went in and offered him a new contract thinking we've got to try and retain him. At this point, he wanted 4.3k per week, which we can't afford, and I would never ever give a player with our financial state at the moment. So I wasn't going to give him that contract. Luckily for us, he rejected the contract deal from the Romanian club. So he is still one of our players until summer. Now, if we offer him a new contract now, what does he want now? He doesn't want the 4.3, but he wants 2.3. And last episode, it was 2.1 that he wanted. So I think with Turiak, we're going to leave it a little bit longer, I think, for his contract negotiations. Either way, that's the only real thing that's happened transfer-wise. Other than that, nothing has gone on with players in particular. So let's take you through some of these fixtures that we've been on since you were last here. And they really have been phenomenal, as you can see. You were last here for the wins against Lincoln and Salford. Since then, we've scored an awful lot of goals and barely conceded any of them. We start off with a 5-1 win over AFC Wimbledon. Now, this was a pretty decent result because Wimbledon, not a bad side. We were going into a run of fixtures where Wimbledon, Portsmouth, Bristol Rovers, Middlesbrough, all in the playoffs actually, and Bristol Rovers and Portsmouth were first and second in the table. So this was going to be, or meant to be, really, really tough. So what I did is, I took Tyler Monk out of the squad and we put in a central defensive midfielder instead, just for the extra bit of defensive stability that I think we might have needed. And for some reason, it's yielded 14 goals. So we start off with the 5-1 win over AFC Wimbledon. Wade Ross with 2, Stephen Robbins with 1, and Richard Smith with 2 goals himself. 2 goals from a central defender was pretty decent as well. They got a consolation goal in the 60th minute when we were already 5-0 up, so it wasn't really much of an issue then. But that was a superb performance. Took command of the game completely, and it was amazing. I was so pleased with that result. We then went up against Portsmouth, who I think at the time might have been top of the table when we played them. We beat them 2-1, which was really good to see. Stephen Robbins scoring a goal in the first minute and Carl Smith getting one right at the end of the game before they get one as a consolation goal pretty late on. So that was a fantastic result. Surely it couldn't get better when we take on Bristol Rovers, who had moved top of the table after we beat Portsmouth. But no, Stephen Robbins with the brace and Wade Ross getting the goal made it 3-0 and a clean sheet against top of the table. That was absolutely superb. I was full of confidence going into the next game against Bury. Bury, by the way, was sitting 21st in the table and we lose it 1-0. Bury had 1 shot in the entire game. Of course it goes in the back of the net. We had 23. None of them go in the back of the net. So that was a very, very frustrating game. But that's just like the absolute typical being FM'd moment. So that was really I was so cross about that. We then came up against Middlesbrough, who I think were above us in the table at the time. And we beat them 4-1. Wade Ross with a hat-trick and Admir Ramic getting his first goal for quite a while as well. Our absolutely insane run against Middlesbrough continues. We've still not lost to them in any competitive fixture. We might have played them friendly at some point and lost to them, I think, maybe. But I think in every single competitive fixture we've played against them, we've either won or drawn. As you can see, played 6, won 3, drawn 3. We've had a really good record against them. Either we are their bogey side, or when we play against them, we just absolutely love it and just seem to thrive playing against them for some reason. I don't know what it is, but we just can't seem to lose to Middlesbrough. And so from those 5 games, we've done absolutely phenomenally well, picking up 12 out of the 15 available points. I was so pleased with that. We've got Coventry today in 11th and Oxford who are in 4th. So 2 big games today. Hopefully we can continue this run of form where we've scored 14 goals and only conceded 4 ourselves. That was absolutely phenomenal. But I can just imagine playing a mid-table side after beating all these top sides in the league. We lose to Coventry like we did to Bury and then somehow beat Oxford. I can sort of imagine that happening today. Now, we only play Middlesbrough at midweek, so we are looking a little bit tired out there, a few tired faces, and we've had to rotate 1 or 2 players out there. So McClement stays in goal, as per usual. Richard Smith stays in defence along with Hartop, but Hunter and Webb have come into today's side. They're not normally starting players for us, but because Turek's down on 83% condition and Carl Smith's on 90%, we've had to bring in those 2 players. Woodthorpe has recently regained his place in the squad as we switch back to that CDM, and it's worked very, very well against his top side. So he's staying in the squad with Goff and Ramage just ahead of him. Robbins and Griffiths stay out wide, and Wade Ross, who's now got 14 goals to his name. At the start of last episode, he only had 7, so 14 goals to his name. He's the informed striker at the moment, as you can see. 1 goal there, 2 goals there, 1 goal there with an assist, and 3 goals in the last game against Middlesbrough. He's played very, very well recently, so I expect to see some goals from him today. Right then, kickoff is upon us here today. We're away to Coventry, so it's a bit of a big game. I forgot to show you the table now that I think about it as well. So if we quickly look at the table at the start of this game, all those superb results put us just outside the playoffs right now as things stand. 2 points behind Portsmouth, 3 points behind Bristol Rovers. So it's, we're in very, very good stead. Bristol Rovers just gone a goal down to Rotherham as well, so we're now only with 2 points behind them. That's pretty decent. A lot of things suddenly just changing. A few teams jumping ahead of us in the table. But as things stand, we are only the 2 points ahead of Chester, who are outside the playoffs. So it is still very tight up there. It's still anyone's game. A lot of teams can still get playoffs at some point. There is a highlight going on. It looks like it's a goal kick to Coventry, so nothing too exciting, unfortunately. But I'm pretty confident that we'll pick up a win in today's game. Highlight coming towards us then as Hunter picks the ball up. He puts the ball forward to Wade Ross, who's in behind the defence. One-on-one with the goalkeeper. Puts it just wide, but that's the best chance that we've seen all game so far. And what's actually a pretty even game at the moment. We've seemed to be fair, a lot of the games we have played, stat-wise, have been even. We've been the side slightly on top, apart from the Bury game where we absolutely dominated but still lost that game. Most of the games we are slightly on top, actually, the ones we played in between episodes, but we just seem to dominate the scoreline. You wouldn't expect from those stats that we win so convincingly, sort of thing. Hopefully, though, the second half for us is going to be much better. We've still not scored a goal, but coming forward early on, Webb puts the ball in to Richard Smith, and Webb back on the ball into Goff, playing some nice triangles, trying to go for a bit of an Ajax attacking play, perhaps. Maybe that's what they're trying to do out there. Maybe they've seen the recent Champions League run of Ajax, which was brought to an end the other night by Tottenham in spectacular fashion, really. What an absolutely good week of football we've had. Ramage puts the ball forward to Griffiths, who's in behind the defence. Griffiths really should have squared that ball completely. Ross was completely open in the middle. Griffiths went for the glory himself, and unfortunately, I think he's made the wrong decision there. Coming up to an hour played now, and to be fair, our front three haven't played particularly well out there, so I am tempted to make some changes, particularly with Wade Ross. Tommy Hole is going to come on for him up front. Tommy Hole, to be fair, has been pretty unlucky, I've got to say. He was injured for quite a while, so he missed out on playing because of that, and then recently Wade Ross has been in superb form, scoring plenty of goals, so he's sort of been very unlucky not to be selected in recent weeks. 20 minutes or so to go, and I think actually we're not really getting a foothold in this game. We really should have scored some goals from the highlights that we've had, but we're going to bring Tyler Monk on in that attacking midfield position. I think he might cause some changes up there. Maybe he'll make a bit of magic up there for us. We need a bit of support, I think, because I don't think our players up there are playing particularly well. And by looks of things, we are going towards a typical result. After dominating sides around us in the table and losing to Bury at the bottom of the table, a mid-table side we can only draw against by looks of things, I thoroughly expect us to go and thump Oxford 4-0 in the next game to sort of continue with that trend. But I'm really not very pleased that we've not been able to grab a goal in this game. Demand more out there, and we're going to go on to very attacking. We need to get something. Webb's got a free kick. He puts it wide, to be fair. Never looked like it was going in the back of a net. Perhaps another chance, though, for us now as the ball comes forward, although it's gone straight through for Coventry, who's one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Superb save from a Clement there. Had to do the business there. Otherwise, we will have lost this game. Their corner is coming in now, and it's collected by our goalkeeper. So that was a superb save. By looks of things, our players are more tired than the Coventry players, so perhaps they've had a bit more rest. Maybe they didn't play midweek for some reason or something like that. I don't know. But I think Coventry, actually, in the second half, definitely have been the much better side out there, which is disappointing. And with 30 seconds to go, not even 30 seconds to go, the referee blows his whistle for full time. We have drawn today, which is disappointing. Defensively, very, very good performance from us, but it's not quite what we've been expecting. So a week off now until the Oxford game. That result put us down to 6th in the table. We're still in the playoffs. Oxford move up to 3rd. Wigan. I'm lying to you. I said there was no more business. Notts County put an offer in for Danny Douglas-Hurst of £8,000, which we rejected. Actually, we negotiated to £100,000, but they didn't want that at all. So I would be happy to let Danny Douglas-Hurst go again, but for more money than this. What's he actually worth at the moment? And actually, his contract might end at the end of the season. It does end at the end of the season. So actually, it would make sense to get a bit of money for him now, but I want more than that. Can we put up to 20k? I'm not bothered about instalments or anything like that, although after 50 games, An extra £2,000 after 50 games would be good. We'll have a percentage of profit. That's nice. Let's take this up actually to... We sold them to 40k last time, didn't we? Can we get 40k again, do we reckon? Because 40k would be very nice for Danny Douglas-Hurst again. Suggest that the offer's been withdrawn, so maybe that was a bit pushing our luck a little bit too much. Mike Coates out for 3 to 4 weeks with a damaged foot. That's a little bit annoying, but we do have some very, very good centre-backs this season, so it's not the worst issue to have. Oh, deadline day, Exeter making an offer for Mark Mason of £61,000. This is the first ever bid that's coming for Mark Mason, and it's only £61,000. Now, his contract does end at the end of the season, and he's been unlucky with injuries this season, not really playing games, and as you can see, scoring record this season, really not the best. But I want to offer him a new contract. He will stay at the club, so we are going to reject this bid unless they give us £500,000 for him. Suggest that. Offer withdrawn, that's fine. Oh, but they are back for more now, offering £74,000 up front. Again, lads, if you want him, £500,000. And again, they're just going to keep coming back. And again, I'm just going to say to you, lads, £500,000 or nothing. Or maybe 250k, all right? Let's suddenly half it. But let's suggest those terms £500,000. Again, they've rejected that. So I don't think they're going to come back in for him anytime soon and actually offer us £500,000 or £250,000. If they do, though, that would be very, very difficult to turn down. Very difficult to turn down. I am very aware that I have just literally halved my options. Again, look, we've got another bid coming in down here. Let's have a look at this. Is it for Mason from Exeter? Exeter make a bid for Mason. £110,000 now, rising to 135. Well, what league Exeter in? They're in League 2. They need him, actually, to be fair. He would do a good job there. Again, Exeter, though, 200. We'll get rid of these instalments, all right? Remove that after 50 league games. 250k, suggest that, which, I thought they'd accepted them, but they've taken up to 125 up front, with add-ons going to 170. Oh, gosh. Now, this is actually tempting because, oh God, this is actually really hard. Now, we only have £600,000 in the bank. We've lost £500,000 this season. Projection-wise, it's not looking very good for the future. We are going to keep losing money, apparently. So, 1, getting Mason off the wage bill is good. 2, making money from is also very good. And every player's got their price. And £175,000 is a very tempting offer, but it's Mark Mason. I've got to reject it. I can't let him go. Oh, but he's only got 6 months left on his contract as well. Was that a really bad decision? If they come in again with a good deal, it's going to get very, very difficult. When they haven't come in for another deal yet, the game is continuing automatically once again. I don't know why I just did that. I didn't press spacebar or anything, so maybe it's just processing a really, really good deal for him. And they haven't come in with a new deal. And I think actually that is now deadline day done. So Mason stays as our player. And as we are going to do that, leaving us out, maybe we should have sold him. Maybe we should have sold him, to be fair. Let's offer him a new contract, though. He's taken a pay cut. He's now going to be a backup player. We'll put him on rotation instead. No, let's keep him as backup, actually, because he might get cross if we don't rotate him at all, because he's not played very well recently. Get rid of a new substitute fee. That goes. Suggest those terms. He wants 1.1k, back to 1k, mate. 1.1k for Mark Mason. He's taken a £100 per week pay cut. How long was that deal for, actually? I didn't really pay much attention to that. Not that it really matters too much, because I'm very keen to keep Mark Mason at the club for a long time. It's for only an extra year. So we could maybe look to sell him in summer if a good deal comes in. Or January next year as well, if, again, clubs are interested. But I'm going to leave it to you. If a good deal comes in of £200,000 plus for Mark Mason, who realistically has peaked, hasn't proven himself in League One the past few seasons, unfortunately, as much as I really want him to, as we have a better one, because Wade Ross comes in as our best player of the month. He's one player of the month for January. 6 goals in 6 games is a pretty good going. Wade Ross is the man at the moment. He's the striker to be. Mason is falling by the wayside a little bit, maybe, and maybe we need to move him on. but I'm going to leave it up to you in the comment section, so let me know what you think. To be fair, the fans in-game are disappointed with the performances of Mark Mason and hope the situation doesn't get out of hand. Maybe we just have a little word with him, alright? Let's have a little word with him. Let's praise his conduct instead. Because who's going to be cross for me praising their conduct? It's commendable that you fully appreciate the role and you promote the club well. Thanks, boss. Proud to represent the club. His morale's gone up. I'm tempted. No, we're not going to play him against Oxford because he's not played well and Wade Ross has played very well recently. But we might bring him on as a substitute. He's just controversial at the moment, Mark Mason. He's now got the worst rating in training, so we can actually criticise him for that. Very disappointed. His morale's gone up because he's actually realised, yes, I have been bad in training, whereas Ramic has been absolutely incredible. Let's just praise him for his training efforts recently. Mason is a player that I want to turn around. I want him to do really well. He had the potential to be amazing. Maybe even up to the Championship. Obviously not Premier League. I don't think he's ever going to be, or was never talented to be good enough for the Premier League. But for the Championship, I think he was always meant to be a decent player for that. And he's plateaued recently. And perhaps that's part of our training facilities that just aren't good enough yet, and they're slowly improving. Of course, we've got new ones coming in next season at some point, so that's going to help a little bit. Boston, though, offered £6,000 or nearly £7,000 for Danny Douglas-Hurst. I think we do take this now because he's going to go in summer anyway, so we might as well try and get a little bit of money for him. Can we take this up to £10,000, please, Boston? They've accepted a 10k fee. We'll accept that offer. Danny Douglas-Hurst is DDH gone once again. Hashtag, it was DDH back last season. DDH gone this season. He never really made much of an impact after he came back after we sold him to Rotherham for £43,000. But he's made a nice bit of profit for us twice, so I'm happy with him. Right, back into the lineup then goes Turiak. He's coming back in there. Cole Smith also coming back in for Hunter. The rest of the lineup is pretty decent still. Hole will come off for Mason on the bench. He hasn't played at all recently, of course, as you can see. So that's back to full strength lineup then. Let's go and take on Oxford then. I reckon this can be a good result for us. Obviously, we played teams in the top six, beat them all empathetically. It's the teams lower down the table that we seem to struggle against. So, following that sort of logic, we should actually do really well here today. Kickoff is upon us then. Again, another away game, this time in Oxford, obviously, because that's where Oxford play, in Oxford. So including this one, 15 games to go this season. We're still in the playoffs as things stand, but Wimbledon and Doncaster pretty close behind us. Luton has sort of dropped off and Peterborough, so obviously there's still plenty of time for them all to catch up, but I wouldn't be too worried about Luton and below now. I think it's sort of this top 8 that we are going to be competing with if we want to have a chance of playoffs this season. No highlights so far though, half an hour into this cagey game by looks of things, although we just have had 2 shots in pretty quick succession there. We are holding a majority of the possession as well, so hopefully the goals will start to come once the play opens up a little bit. Perhaps we'll do something, although Oxford's corner is turned into the back of a net after it ricochets around the area just a little bit. Ben Hall grabs the goal for them. McClement picking the ball out the back of a net, but there's still plenty of time to get back into this. A dodgy set piece does not define us. Instantly, another highlight. So perhaps just coming towards us as their goalkeeper puts the ball up to Turiak, who collects it very nicely. Now Robbins is on his way down the wing. Ball into Goff, not the best. And again, Oxford now with a chance to come forward. Although Goff wins the ball back through an interception and Wade Ross plays it out to Griffiths. Griffiths coming inside, puts it back to Hartop. Hartop's cross in, headed clear, but only as far as Woodthorpe. Woodthorpe into Goff, who's tackled, but Woodthorpe wins it back, and Robbins open with a chance to shoot. The ball swerves away from the goal, and that could have been a great chance for us to get level. Approaching half-time though, we are 1-0 down at the break, which isn't ideal, but there's still a whole second half to go for us to grab some more goals, and I'm pretty confident in our abilities to do that. Could be the time for Mark Mason to come on pretty soon. Again, Wade Ross having 2 poor games in a row as things stand, although we might grab a goal as we're coming forward now. Hartop on the ball into Griffiths. Griffiths out to Goff, and Goff gets himself tackled, and here come Oxford on a bit of a counter-attack. Allen skips past his man. O'Hare into the area. Beckett completely open, and that is a superb save from our goalkeeper, who I think is one of the best goalkeepers in this division. He's been absolutely superb the past 2 seasons, doing phenomenally well with clean sheets and not conceding many goals. McClement has been a real good buy for us. The time is coming though, and with half an hour left on the clock, Mark Mason, after not making an appearance for a good 10 games or so, is going to be coming onto the pitch today, hopefully changing it in our favour. He needs to grab some goals, and he needs to repay me for giving him a brand new contract, I think. We're also going to bring Littler on for Ramic out there. He's not played massively well,
So Ramit Littler's going to come on for Ramich, of course. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Woodthorpe coming off for Tyler Monk. Let's have another outlet up the top. We need to try and do something with him. As I make those substitutes, though, Oxford are coming forward. Beckett on the ball into the man called Hunter. And they've put it in the back of a net for 2-0. And now we've got a real mountain to climb. This has been a very, very disappointing episode after in-between episodes being so good. That loss to Bury seems to have knocked us. Obviously, we beat Middlesbrough. That's a given because we seem to do very well against Middlesbrough since then. Since that loss to Bury, it seems to have just knocked us a little bit, I think. And a draw in my last game, a loss to Oxford now, is not what we would have wanted. As things stand, though, we do stay in the playoffs. Wimbledon and Doncaster haven't overtaken us. Luton have caught up a little bit more, but they're still 5 points behind us. So we do need to be watching out for Wimbledon and Doncaster, but we are only 1 point behind 5th and 6th, and we are only 4 points behind second place in the table as well. So it's still pretty good for us. On the plus side, we have got rid of playing pretty much all the top 6 sides now for the rest of the season. So from here on out, it should be, theoretically, quite a nice run into the end of the season. And hopefully we can pick up some points against teams lower down the table. I know we lost to Bury and things like that. But hopefully teams lower down the table can start to pick up some points against and try and cement ourselves in the playoffs. So the next few games, we've got Doncaster in 8th. But after that, Notts County 17th, Walsall 13th, Colchester 20th, Burton 11th. We've got some nice fixtures. Next episode, we're going to be doing Wigan in 22nd and Peterborough in 10th. So they're also going to be quite decent fixtures. In fact, looking down here, we don't play anyone, actually, apart from Chester. No one inside that top 8 sort of thing for the rest of the season now. So, theoretically, an easy run-in, but it could be anything but. As I say, though, Wigan and Peterborough next episode, that should be quite a good one. Hopefully, 6 points in that episode to mitigate the 1 point that we picked up in today's episode. So thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. And I'll see you next time for some more Lincoln Loco